And we're finishing our keynote session with a keynote from Jonas, who will be talking about a very crucial and important and impactful case that we have been working recently, uh, which is related to the Ukrainian city of Mariupol and the narrative of it and about the process. So it's a very impactful and very sensitive process that we have been through together with various stakeholders and urbanists like Pupa, Justina, that you will hear in the panel discussion. So Jonas, the floor is yours, and I see you changed the background. So
Yeah,
you're in the office.
I did. You changed, and me also changed. So, and I'm back in the office with our CEO sitting, and he's one of those who is viewing all the conference presentations. So the place is empty because it's after the work hours. It's evening in Vilnius, Lithuania. So yeah, as Dominika said, I will bring you to different contexts, and by saying that, I do have even the slide which is says context, because for those who are not very familiar with Ukraine, with Mariupol city, what it is, what is the situation, which is looking from our perspective hard to believe, but the world is big, and there might be probably different perceptions. So Mariupol is a city in Ukraine, as you can see. It's on the shore of Azov Sea, and it is in eastern Ukraine, in the Donetsk region, heavily impacted by the war. And due to the war, Mariupol has suffered major damages in all the spheres of city life. And as for statistics, for example, 90% of the city and buildings in the city were destroyed or damaged, and 3/4 of the people who lived there, they just escaped the city, and a bunch of the citizens died in the place. And city government in exile decided to create an urban city vision that inspired rebuilding and revitalization after its occupation. So the act was kind of, the intention was very understandable. They are willing to prepare to this moment when the city will then they will get back the city, and to have a proper kind of blueprint, to be possible to instantly do some action, right? And we took our place in this process, and we were not the only ones. So because the bigger probably picture of this was the urban vision of the city, and our responsibility was related with the city narrative, which would be as a basis for further even ideas and concepts of urban vision. So, and as one of my colleagues asked to say even twice or 3 times or 4 times, that we were working with city government in exile, with Ukrainians, not those who occupied the city, not the Russian side, right? But with Ukrainians who escaped the city to simply survive. So let's go to the content, and the content is all the the narrative I will walk us through this presentation will be based on this dynamic flow of place branding by Kavaratsis and Hatch, which is probably the mostly used by explaining how the place identity works, and by using it as also as a framework how to work with the place identity. And you already saw this in Agle's presentation previously, and she explained a bit, how those arrows works. But I will remind, and not necessarily all of you heard this information, that the place identity, it, as you already can see, it has those interactions with the place culture and then place image. So the place culture, what we do have in the place, and the place image, how others, do see, perceive this particular place. And as for the culture, so the place culture is expressing, the identity, and identity expresses in the kind of places, cultural understandings, and what they do have there. And this bottom line arrow says that place identity, changes the identity itself by implanting new meanings and symbols into the culture. And as for place image, so the top arrow says that the place identity kind of tape the images of others by mirroring their impressions and expectations. And the bottom arrow says that place identity leave impressions on others and is affecting the perception. So by explaining that, we are kind of good to go to further to the presentation. And before the war, Mariupol city, as probably all the cities in the world, they worked on the strategy, how they are willing to see the city in 2030. And the strategy said that let's have the place identity, as a city with an ocean of opportunities. This was written with big letters in this document. And as for place culture, they were kind of seeking for possibility to kind of escape or moving away from this stereotype of an industrial zone, which was kind of a lot about the Mariupol, and actively developing the local kind of this cultural sphere. And the place image. So the place image, the expectation was that it would talk about kind of, so the people would recognize the city as city of great kind of opportunities for career, for education, for recreation, and bunch of other things, and to city in this national kind of scope, the city to be recognized as a kind of showcase of potential for the progress for other Ukrainian cities. So this was the reality back then, and then, as all of us know, the thing happened. That thing, the war, the invasion, and as you probably already are able to think of, it affected the place image a lot, and affected in a way that those arrows which are coming, from those two different sides, from the culture and the image, they are not efficient anymore. So the image started affecting those sites because the reality became such. And as for culture, right? So there was no even room for culture, right? As we recognize or understand it, because even the cultural workers, they were pushed to put some uniforms and take the guns into their hands and to defend the city and the country. And as for this image, so Mariupol, because of this defensive spirit, and you probably know the story about the Azovstal and the troop which was in the territory and were defending until, I don't know, for very long, until the last, I don't know how to express this thing. And it became a symbol in other countries. This is in the image you are able to see some kind of rebelling against the how to say, against the energy, buying energy from Russia in the Germany. So people took the Mariupol as a symbol, right? So this post is saying I am Mariupol, right? But it is not necessary, takes long, because the upcoming image is kind of the grave, the cemetery, the big cemetery, which city is became too, and this image is kind of remains, and when we are looking forward, which the intention of all the project was that definitely the sooner the better the city will be deoccupied and Ukraine will win the war, and we will be pushed to bring back this template of dynamic flow of place branding, and by having this city identity as a city with a notion of opportunities, as you probably already can feel, it is not working anymore, right? Because the context changed a lot. And changed because of we know why, and that's probably the aspect which pushed us to think of some different approach we need to bring as a city narrative, so it would empower people, it would bring some I don't know, some good, goodwill, good expectations about the future of city. So that's why the narrative of the city turned into those words. Mariupol is the reason, and this is even the suggestion for the slogan of the city. Because we even were thinking about the city not necessarily as a location, some particular location, but as more as a phenomenon. Even be able to relocate it in a sense, so it would not be related with all the things that happened there, with some, of course, but not all of them, and with the possibility to work on those further interpretations. Mariupol is the reason for what? So when we are talking about the culture, so it is the reason to imagine, to create, and bunch of other things. And when we are talking about the image, so for those who escaped, right? So it's the Mariupol is the reason to return. When we are talking about those who are looking, for those possibilities city was looking before the war. So maybe Mariupol is the reason to invest, or maybe Mariupol is the reason to become a new home, right? So it's the reason for a bunch of stakeholders and different reasons. And the thing is that as this diagram is saying that this is dynamic flow, right? And the time is going, and the thing is that the situation, the context back then when we were working, it was basically 1 year ago, was as it was, and now city is being occupied for a while, and other things are happening, and other layers are covering. Different layers are starting to cover the city, and as for example, this is the city sign in the entrance to the city, and as you can recognize, it is painted into the colors of the Russian flag, right? So, and Russians are populating the city. They are started to rebuild or building some buildings from the scratch with their own concept, right? So it is very likely that probably even the narrative and the urban vision will be pushed to rethink or review, and to be able for us to be able to recognize if it fits this particular situation Ukrainian will get after the occupation. Okay, so that's all from my side, and Dominikas, I'm giving you the mic back.
Yeah, the mic is here. I see people are celebrating different things. I don't know, maybe the event of ours also, but people are celebrating in the Vilnius now. Jonas, I have a question to you, because together we were involved in many more, and Agla and Justina that you will hear from in the whole process. I remember for me, one of the moments that was very moving was that when we did the stakeholder engagement, what happened that people from Ukraine, different stakeholders who have who it was difficult for them to travel here, who have different contexts and backgrounds and situations, just for the reason to have their voice heard, to be a part of this new vision, they came to Vilnius for this event, for two-day workshop that we held and facilitated. So it was, for me, it was moving, because sometimes even in Lithuania we work with city municipalities, and mayors or their administrations are for them difficult to find time to have a meeting, and here people from far abroad with difficult situations move here. And for you, maybe you remember certain moments during that process that moved you too.
Well, even preparing this presentation was kind of challenging thing, because it pushed me, to work through this content we had during all the involvement part, right? And while working with the city narrative, which as you probably understand, we were immersed into this context, but of course not so many as those people who came from Ukraine. And for me, probably the most touching aspect was that we, a bunch of the different people came to to the workshops we held, and we invited also those previous citizens of Mariupol. Citizens, maybe not the best word to describe those people who lived in Mariupol city, right? Who escaped the city, and of course only women, and who escaped to Lithuania. So we were be able to call them, and the stories they told about their experiences, by spending months in the cellar with dead bodies, with someone going out for the water and not coming back, and for us to be able to witness, how this emotion is affecting the people during the workshop, and this was one of the aspects we didn't thought of, because of the lack of experience, and these people, they didn't make until the end of the workshop because it was too intense for them, too hard to be with all the memories. So yeah, that was probably most touching thing.
Thank you.